Wow, I can't anymore. I just came back from the supermarket. Do you have the Super Saver card? No, I don't. Do you want one? No, I don't want. I just want to buy my bread and my eggs.
You are now listening to the iWalter Show.
I just donated $1 to cancer. I do fundraisers. I'm not a heartless prick. Can you do this? Do you want this card? I just want to buy my fucking shit and get out of the store. If I donate to everybody, people gotta start donating to me. What the fuck? I'll do what I want to do, how I want to do it, where I want to do it. Stop fucking asking me. Can you do that? No, goddammit. I just came in here to buy something, son of a bitch.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, a strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who, disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Good evening, everyone. This is Walter on iWalter. Yes, I am saying evening because it's only 10:24 and it still says Friday, according to my records on my calendar and my clock on my phone. So yes, it's Friday, September 4th. Tomorrow is going to be my big day with me and my friend Matt. We are actually going to a movie fest, and it's going to last. Max payment script. Sorry, I got to look at this later on or something. It's something I don't even use anymore. I got charged for. It's Friday night. I'm off Friday and Monday. I'm not going to be doing the shows probably as much as I have been because it's just really taken too much out of me to do it. It's a lot of work with the show prep and stuff. Anyway, today was supposed to be. It's called Farce Friday for Star Wars, the new movie. They call officially it was a first day for the toys to be released. So I just basically called my show Farce Friday. Now the funny thing is, one friend he always busts on me. He says, "Oh, you buy way too many toys," and apparently, probably if I stop buying all these toys, stop wasting money, the whole economy, all 94 million people, or at least most of them, would be back. At work, because I wouldn't be spending my money buying toys. That would actually change the change the outlook on the economy. Just because people don't want to work, it's not their fault. It's my fault. Now I know I'm exaggerating that, but that's what it feels like. Nobody else gets fingered on buying toys. But today was Farce Friday again. Somebody actually wrote. They said it was quote unquote. They titled it. Was on this website or link called 109, we come from the future. Is like it's 109. Is it I or is it a 1? Looks like a 1, but I think it's io9.com. And it says Farce Friday was a disaster for many Star Wars fans. Basically, this person was complaining about. Now, you're not talking kids who are doing this, because even those other movies, the episodes 1, 2, and 3, they're pretty old now. Not real old, but they're about 10 years old. And some of these people, like myself, are people. The reason they once saw to go see episodes 1, 2, and 3 is because they saw 4, 5, and 6 when they came out. And even then, I was a little kid, and I'm not the only one. So just to give you a heads up. So yeah, these people buying all these quote unquote Star Wars toys that were officially today was the release of them are all basically adults. They're not kids. So it does get under my skin when people say, "Oh, well, you buy too many toys." I don't give a fuck what I buy, honestly. I mean, yes, you got to watch, you got to worry about the future, but you know what? In another 50 years, I won't have to worry about anything because I won't even be on the face of the. I'll be on the face. No, I won't be on the face of the planet. I'll be buried under the ground, or if I have my choice, I'll be incinerated. So, then there'll be somebody else that they can kind of point the finger out and say, you know what, if you would be more responsible and spend money more wisely, you wouldn't be in the situation you are, and neither would anybody else. And if I say that, because I'll come with the comeback now, then I'll hear, well, I'm not talking about anybody else. You can't focus on other people. I'm only concerned on your well-being. Well, you know what? Maybe if you were less concerned about my well-being and concerned about other people's well-being, even your own, maybe the situation we have right now where there is, because I did listen to Rush today, that there is 94 million people not working that are fully capable of working wouldn't be the issue. So focusing on just one individual and not even yourself is not going to change the situation. Focusing on me is definitely not going to change the situation. Because I might not even be here for another 50 years before I'm, long gone. So, that being said, seeing this was just kind of a joke almost. It's like, yeah, I'm going to continue to buy whatever I want. I'm going to be careful what I buy. I'm going to stay within reason. But it just gets very old when people think that, yeah, I'm the focus of all the problems that, basically I feel like Atlas. Like I said this before, that I'm holding the whole globe's responsibilities on my back. Now people are saying, you're just exaggerating. You're making molehills out of, mountains out of molehills. It's like, yeah, but what do you think I ever hear? It's like how I can improve myself, not how anybody else can improve their selves. Or themselves, how I can improve myself on how my diet is, how I spend money, how I live, what I look at, and what I say. So that's basically everything. So I'm basically put under the microscope, and everybody else has kind of been, basically excused for any of their irresponsible actions. Speaking about that, I got my hair cut today. And I went to this woman. She's really good. I can't tell her age. And it was funny because it reminds me of this one time, me and my one friend, Matt, we went to this diner. And there was this woman that works there. And, me and Matt, we thought this woman was a lot older than she was. We thought she had to be at least in her 50s, at least. And she always talks about all her kids and her husband and everything like that. She was like a bartender at this one diner down in past Norristown. So the friend said, you know what, I'm going to ask her in a subtle way, how old are you? Anyhow, you got to be, and she said, oh, just take a guess. And he was trying to be nice, and he deliberately under-guessed her, what do you call it? He basically guessed, made her like 20 years younger than he thought she was. Like he didn't want to come right out and say, oh, you look like you're about in your 50s. So he said, oh, what are you, 42 or something? I can't remember exactly what he said. So the woman says, oh, yeah, I'm like 30, 37 or 32. And it was like, what? So we're both thinking to each other, we thought she was 20 years older than what she had mentioned. So anyway, why am I mentioning this now? Well, basically because this hairdresser I go to, she reminds me of one of those people where she's probably a lot younger than she really looks. She is only, my guess is in her 30s or something like that, but who knows? That being said, that's done with. But she cut my hair, and she was talking about, it seems like every woman now has, woman, girl, they basically have kids, and they're single moms. It's just a fact. You got more single moms in this country probably than anywhere else. When I grew up, I hate to say this, I never thought I would use that term. But it's true. When I grew up, there was no such thing, as much. It was actually looked down upon being a single mother. Nowadays, though, it's it's so normal. It's such the norm. So she, I was kind of not surprised that she had a kid, but actually what really surprised me, though, was her kid is actually 20 years old, and she's in college, and she's going to Temple University down the city for a nursing degree. So that kind of did take me a little bit by shock. Why, I don't know, but it's just like, okay, I can understand a kid, but your kid's actually 20 years old, which would probably be right. Maybe she had the kid when she was, like 20 years old. Maybe she is, or like 18. That would be about average. So, but that's the thing. Also, these girls, these kids are having children in their teens. So, it's going to be more and more less uncommon that women are going to have when they're in their late 30s, early 40s, their kids are going to be like grown adults, probably with their own kids, just because these people are having children at younger and younger ages. But yeah, that part was not it was a little bit of a shock, actually, believe it or not, because I'm like trying to be generous and say, well, she probably is. She's probably a lot younger than she looks. But, but she was saying, this year, I wish I could do it again. I'm ready to go back to, sorry, something's making me laugh now, to, the Bahamas. And it was like, yeah, I'd like to do that too. I don't know how you can do it no offense. She is really good, but how you do that on a hairdressing job, how can you afford that? Because isn't that kind of expensive? I mean, I feel bad for saying that, but I'd assume, again, it's got to be kind of costly. So, but she said, oh, yeah, my daughter. Now, this is the part that also shocked me, though. She said that her daughter, who's 20 years old, was living with some guy, see, I don't grasp this stuff because I haven't had a serious relationship like that. Really, I mean, I said I've had girlfriends, but honestly, I've never had a relationship that serious ever. So, and I'm 48. So to me, this is like, well, I never heard, I mean, I'm not even kidding. I've never heard of stuff like this before. And I'll hear it. I've heard it before, but it always shocks me because I wasn't brought up that way. And now people say, oh, you're just full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, do you know me so well that you can absolutely tell me everything I am thinking and the way I've lived for the first 48 years of my life? You can probably say, yeah, I actually could. But honestly, I would say, yeah, you know what? No, you don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, this woman, I think her name is Cynthia. She really does do really good hair. She's a little bizarre, I guess, to put it kindly. She's a little bit eccentric, which is fine because so am I. I would say she's probably a little bit more so eccentric, if that's possible. But I won't have to remember this story. Yeah, sorry, I saw something that was interesting, folks. Yeah, but her daughter came home. Was at home. She left her daughter by herself. I mean, the woman's 20 years old. Her daughter's 20 years old. That's a woman. If you're in college, you should know better. I've said this before. I was 13 years old and I was supposed to know better how to do on 12, actually, and I was supposed to know better. Now, her daughter, and I wasn't even in college. I was barely even in middle school at that time. I was 12 years old. What do you expect? But, yeah, I was supposed to know right from wrong. I was supposed to know better at 12 years old. Nowadays, I've said this before, this woman's daughter, which I felt bad for her, she said, I left my daughter home when I went to the Bahamas, and she destroyed my house. She had a party when I was gone. It was like, okay, again, do you see that? Does that mean that me being 12 years old, I was a lot more mature than she's at this woman's daughter at 20 years old, and she's a college student, not even a freshman, like more like, I'd assume she's 20. She's got to be a junior, not even a freshman. But yeah, a junior. Yeah, she's not even, maybe what is it? Freshman, sophomore. She's either a sophomore or a junior. At that point, I hate to tell you, yeah, you know what? You better know better. But obviously, her daughter doesn't. She has. That's the problem. I hate to say it. Probably also just not having, that nuclear family that used to exist. I mean, that's just me giving my opinion, I know. But, yeah, I mean, the way I was brought up, if I had a problem, my dad made sure to either handle me, and if he could not handle me, then I was pretty much out the door and put in some institution until I would straighten out my act. And again, rude awakening. This actually did start happening at the age of 12. So I'm just trying to give you, reality check. Walter's 12 years old. You should know better on how to act more mature at 12. And this girl who's, woman who's in college, probably a freshman or a sophomore, really doesn't need to know better. So she destroys her mom's house. Yeah, so when you can come up with a really good, lame excuse, I'll listen to it, but you know what? I won't believe it. So I just had to push that in there. I was just, this is ridiculous. That people are that, out of touch with reality and responsibility. Again, this goes back to that whole Star Wars thing I just mentioned, where it's more important for me to be more responsible, but everybody else is excluded from taking any type of responsibility for anything they fucking do. And yeah, I hate to tell you, it gets really old and it's not working, because when our economy crashes, who are you going to blame then? Well, obviously not yourself, because that's, one thing that's excluded from the whole thing. I think I might get interrupted. I have a feeling tonight. My spidey senses tell me I actually will. So anyway, which is going to make me lose my train of thought. It was funny also, when I was at this movie theater today, they asked me for my phone number. I gave it. And then they asked me, can you repeat that? I already forgot it. I literally forgot my own phone number. So I'm starting to get as long as I can do this show, but I'm actually starting to get slight signs, I believe, of Alzheimer's. I'm actually losing my memory, short-term memory, that quickly, which is not a cool thing. So, and it is a little bit something that ran on my father's side somewhat. So I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, this woman with her daughter doing that, and then here's the funny part. The daughter basically had a problem with the boyfriend she was living with. That's why she moved back home. I left that part out. So less than in record time, she found another guy that she's always seriously with and always out of the house. And you're going to tell me, well, that's normal. Young people do that. Well, you know what? I never had that. Again, I was 12 years old and I was told I should be more mature. And it never stopped from the age of 12. It just continued up until my age of what I am now, which is 48. But yet I need to be more responsible. And if I would say, yeah, it'd be nice to have a girlfriend. Well, you know what? You shouldn't rush into things. I heard that for 20 some years, 30 some years. Well, you shouldn't rush in. You're acting too insecure. Well, these people, they don't waste more than 5 minutes. And it's funny because I have a friend at work, a woman. She's a single mother, but she was married when she had her kids, and her daughter was married, and the marriage did not work out. So they were separated for less than probably. I'd say I'll be generous. I could be really generous and say less than a week. I'd probably say less than a few days. And my friend at work was saying, "Oh yeah, my daughter's boyfriend." It's like, okay, you didn't let that whole thing of breaking up in a relationship get cold before somebody was actually already moving in on her, and actually she was already in a serious relationship. Days after she basically had the final straw with her husband and moved out. Now, you know what I'm going to hear here? I know right away, so I'll say it for you. Well, you don't know how long this went on for. Maybe this relationship she had with this other guy before she was separated or divorced was probably going for a long time. Actually, no, it didn't. It was heard of for the first time right after she basically found out that her husband wanted to call it quits on the relationship. Not even a divorce, barely a separation. No, actually, it was a matter of days that some guy said, "Oh yeah, I always had a crush on you." It turned into a serious relationship. And then before you know it, lo and behold, she is dating some guy before it was even considered a separation. So again, let this entertain me for a minute. Let this fall back on me and let me say, well, Walter, you shouldn't rush into things. You're just making, mountains out of molehills. You really don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the whole situation, and that you should be more responsible. You always should have been responsible. In fact, when I came out of the womb, I should have been responsible for my financial situation and actually taking care of myself and actually basically baby feeding, bottle feeding myself and actually taking care of doing laundry and keeping things straightened up. Even though people that are in their 30s and 40s can't grasp the fact that they can't do it still. But that's just, now that's pointing fingers at people. So, yeah, this whole thing is just, I needed a day off, by the way, if you have noticed yesterday, and I was glad to take it. And, but I'm back in full force, and I'm going to be complaining just as much as I normally do because I was off. And tomorrow you won't have to worry because the whole weekend I'm going to be spending Saturday and Sunday, lo and behold, at this place in Phoenixville, the Colonial Theater, watching basically 9.5 hours watching movies. So you won't have to hear from me for at least 2 days, maybe even longer, because when I get back, I'll probably be doing other stuff. But yeah, so I thought I'd push that in there. Hey, you know what? I'm going to read this right now because a friend actually posted it. My friend Matt Harthman, he posted this article. I was going to read it. I think I did put it in my mix. But this really was shocking. I'm glad he put it up. So thank you, Matthew Harthman. He put it up now. It says, Arby's employee, it was all a joke, they claim now. But this person from Arby's would not serve a cop food. And it looks like she's not bad looking. It was a woman cop, too. So in Florida, it says Arby's found itself on the forefront of trouble after an employee and his manager tried to deny service to a police sergeant, Jennifer Martin. She's a cute-looking woman, too. But, she's serving, helping us out. And these people that worked at Arby's refused to serve her because she was a cop. So this is getting a lot of huff right now. I actually put it in my mix, I think, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it says the two employees of the restaurant have found themselves right in the middle of the controversy. So I haven't eaten at Arby's for a while. Maybe I'm just going to, I'm going to have to continue now. I guess I'm going to have to boycott Arby's, even though I don't go there much anymore. I haven't in a long time. So unless it sends a subliminal message out that I should eat there. Oh, here's one I'm throw in the mix, too. I'm going to kind of scramble up today like I always do, but this time I'm going to do it intentionally. I never knew this. This was on Cinema Blend. Hugh Jackman as James Bond, here's what he says. Apparently, Hugh Jackman said that he was offered the part before the present, Daniel Craig, before the present James Bond. And he had to refuse it. So, because Hugh Jackman, I didn't know that. He's like Australian. So he's got a British accent of some, not British, he's Australian. But he's got that James Bond accent. So he could have easily fell into the role. But he actually had to refuse it because he was in the middle of doing like these Wolverine movies, what was that, the Avengers? So he actually had to like shoot it down. And he says like, well, he's gotten to the age now that he doesn't think he wants to do anymore because they're pretty physical. He has to work out to pump himself up too to play play Wolverine. He's really got to work himself up to like look like he does because the character calls for that. So Hugh Jackman said like maybe after this last film apparently of playing the character of Wolverine, he may actually, if they offer him the part again, he may actually accept it this time. So that would be really cool because I'd really like to see Hugh Jackman as James Bond and stop these nonsense rumors that they're going to go a different direction on who's going to be the next James Bond. So that being said, that sounds really cool. I'm not going to read the article and demolish it. So, there was a couple different articles I actually pulled up about this whole thing. And it wouldn't be a surprise because the same thing actually happened back in the day with Roger Moore. Roger Moore was actually doing the character of the Saint, which is a really good series if you have never checked it out. I actually bought all of them. I sold them. And then I regretted it because there's 2 sets you have to buy. There was like one set of The Saint with Roger Moore that were all the black and whites. There was a second box set with just the Keller episodes, which was like 1 or 2 seasons of The Saint. And they're not as good, but they are good. Don't get me wrong. They're really good of The Saint. But he actually did something else because he wasn't up for, like, they didn't need him at that point when Roger Moore was available. Like, he could finally do it. So he got passed over again, and he ended up doing some other, like, spy series for a while. I think it was on TV. And I can't remember the name of it. I actually bought that at one point, too. And it was really good. But then finally, when Roger Moore was available, he was already too old, technically, in my opinion, to play the part when he actually did his first movie as James Bond. And he did quite a few movies as James Bond, Roger Moore, because he was the most popular one. Well, not the most popular one, because you had other ones, too, and everybody had their favorites. Obviously, everybody liked Sean Connery. But Roger Moore seemed to make more of an impact, probably because of The Saint. And he had more trinkets and toys involved in his episodes, and they added more comedy to him, which actually helped because you had Jaws, the character Jaws, in that 2 of the movies that Roger Moore did, and actually the names of Roger Moore's James Bonds were actually names after the stories or the books that were made on him, something like that. Because I remember seeing that, like Octopussy was named with one of the stories from back when the stories were just, written words, not actually movies, which the character's based upon. So that being said, there was a couple, Moonraker. There was a couple other ones, probably even the first one. They were all based upon the stories. At least the names were based upon the books. Probably even the movies themselves were. Let's see, James Bond. Roger Moore. Books into movies. I wasn't going to do this, but now I think I have to. Well, Roger Moore's Casino Royale was actually one, too, that not Roger Moore did, but Daniel Craig did. That's based upon... Actually, it was a comedy movie way before even any of the movies came out. But that was also based upon one of the books. Yeah, here we go. 007 Wiki. James Bond, Roger Moore. Commander James Bond is a senior operational officer of the 00 branch. The following final departure of Sean Connery in 1971, English actor Roger Moore had taken over from 73 to 1985. So, yeah, he was the longest, it says, to date, he's the longest serving James Bond actor, spanning 12 years in the role. He also was the oldest actor to play Bond, having begun the role at the age of 45 and retiring at the age of 58. So, see, I was right about that. So this could happen again. But it said he appeared in Live and Let Die, Man with a Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker. I think Moonraker was another one that was based upon the story. For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, and A View to a Kill. Now, a lot of those, like I said, were based upon the stories, from the actual physical books. Or the stories. So I was hoping they would actually tell you which ones were which, but it really, I'm not going to go into much more depth on that one. But it was actually really cool. So, knowing that, but yeah, I mean, if Hugh Jackman can do it, I would think, because I don't know. Let me see how old he is now. Let me open up another tab. He was born, he's like my age. He was born October 12th, 1968. So he's actually 2 years younger than me. He's 6'2", For the women out there, married in 1996. Oh, I thought he was divorced. Oh, I guess he's still married. So sorry about that, ladies, if there is any ladies out there. But yeah, no, Hugh Jackman, he's like 46 now. It says he was born in 68. I was born in 67, so technically he's 47. But still, yeah, he could, be maybe the second oldest James Bond if he takes to part. And I'm sure he could at least do like 2 or 3 movies just like the other ones did. I mean, again, it was only the one who did it for that large span of time of like 10 years or whatever, Roger Moore. So anyway, yeah, I just figured I'd put that in there. Hey, this was pretty funny. This is on the Times Herald Business. It says King of Prussia Town Center takes shape. So they're going to actually make a outdoor mall right down from the King of Prussia Mall. It's right next to Wegmans. And it says Upper Merion, from the rubble and dust clouds of IMC construction bulldozers and cranes next door to Wegmans, will raise a lifestyle shopping mecca to be called King of Prussia Town Center. So to me, that's going to bring back the old days a little bit, not by much. But when I was a kid, when I used to go over to King of Prussia Mall, the mall was open. So, and now it was closed because, it was enclosed. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be a bigger indoor mall. It's going to be the biggest in the country. Probably even the world once they're done, but at least on the East Coast. Yeah, I kind of changed that quite a few times. But yeah, they're saying last spring developers at JBGR Retail broke ground on the 20-acre of North Gulf Road, and the company had purchased from the master development Rillin Properties. It used to be a golf course. So now we're going to put like a supersized outdoor shopping center. So, yeah, again, growing up, King of Prussia Mall was all outdoors. There was places I used to love to go to. Like that was like going to a toy store to me. It was this place called Gene's Bookstore and some other places because Gene's had like really cool stuff. They had a lot of Doctor Who stuff before anybody else did. And then there was this newsstand that we used to be over the King of Prussia Mall. I mentioned this before. And that's where I used to go. That was the main place I used to go. It was like, oh my God, this newsstand was heaven to me because I used to sell these comic books. And my mom would give me $1, and I used to be able to buy 4 of them with $1. Now you could barely even buy one at today's times. And yeah, it wasn't like superheroes. It was Richie Rich, Casper, Wendy the Witch, and Daredevil. Daredevil? No. Hot Stuff. They were the ones I used to buy. And I had like boxes of them. I wish I didn't do it, but one time I threw a lot of them out. And they were worth money at this point, too. Because even Richie Rich builds up like a level of cost. Like they get worth something someday. Anyway, my opening monologue, so I didn't say that yet, so I'm going to have to say that now, was by that guy Lee Cabby. And he's really cool. I mean, he always puts like the best stuff, and he put something up that just was really funny, and it was that guy complaining about like when you go to a you go to a supermarket and they're always asking you, oh, can you donate $1? It does drive me insane when they do crap like that. I really don't like them asking me. They make you feel guilty, like if you say no, which I do. Trust me, I don't have that much of a problem. But it does. Oh, sorry about that. I just saw something else. But yeah, it drives me crazy. It gets me really mad. Yeah, it's funny. I'm just looking at this. I pass this by. I just added it on. It says Chiller Theater 25th anniversary of Frankenhooker. They're having an anniversary union. I don't know where that is, but it's Patty Mullen and James Lorenz. He was the guy who played her husband, and this other guy, the director. So I would love to go to that because I actually hinted around to Patty Mullen that one time. I said I'd love to. Oh, it might actually be in Parsippany, New Jersey. If it is, oh God, I won't have the money to go though. I hinted around. Maybe she actually, maybe Maybe she's actually going to do it now. So, yeah, it doesn't really say, because now I'm kind of curious. Patty Mullen, Frankenhooker, Doom Asylum, The Equalizer, Zombie Natrix, Clash of the Champions. Friday and Saturday only. There was some other event with this Chiller Theater, but it says presented. Oh, if I missed her, I'd be really mad. So, yeah, Invades Chiller, 10/23. What is that? The 23rd, 10/23. Oh, that's November. Wait. Sorry about that, folks. That's October 23rd, right? Anyway, I'll look up that later. If I find any information, I'll try to post it on my Facebook page or whatever, or just look on Chiller Theater. They're actually doing something, and it looks like Patty Mullen will be there. So if she's actually down, it'd be actually up for me. If she is in New Jersey, I'll promise I'll be there because I want to see that. It says 2015. That actually really threw me in a curveball now because I didn't expect that one to come up. But there was a story I had up before then, and it's about this neighborhood. Looked like an urban area, no, a suburban area, but it was. I would have to say, hate to say this, but it's this entire block of people start fighting in broad daylight in the hood. Yeah, so I need to say more, but it says in the hood, pure craziness, and it was kind of entertaining at first because it was on Lee Cabby's web link. He put it up, he found it, so I got to give him credit. It was on vidmax.com. And all of the people, not they all, that's not a word. All of the people, though, are it's basically a black neighborhood. And it was kind of entertaining, but the one woman, they had on the spandex and everything like that. So me, I'm a big thing about comment about women in spandex all the time. Well, the one woman, she was beating the crap out of this other woman, and it started other people fighting, all women basically. And somebody grabbed the woman who was, fist fighting with this other lady by her back of her spandex pants, and it did look like a rubber band because, spandex obviously is very elastic. That's why women wear it. And she's like if you would have let go, she would have flew almost literally like a slingshot. I mean, because her pants were like stretching that far. So it was kind of funny at first, but then the quality of the video was so bad. Somebody probably shot it on their cell phone. But the one woman with the spandex pants on, they show her face, and it's all like bloodied up. Like she was really beating the crap out of this other woman. And it was like, okay, this is kind of serious. You shouldn't be watching these women in this neighborhood beating the crap out of each other. I mean, if they're at the point, I was going to make the jokes of you could see, I'm not trying to be mean, but you could see the hair weaves flying across in the video too. They were being ripped off their heads, these hair weave jobs. But, that's a little entertaining, but when you see the woman's face all bloodied up and you didn't stop it, that's very serious. There's no other way to put it. It's just serious. This woman could have got killed, and nobody was there to stop it. They were too busy being entertained of watching these women and other people beating the crap out of each other. Well, the person calling or shooting the video, probably again on their cell phone, should be calling the cops to break this stuff up before somebody really does get hurt seriously. So that's just me. Somebody made a joke on one of the friends on my Facebook page, and it was really inappropriate. The man's gay, though. And I'll say why in a minute, why I mentioned this, how this fits into what I'm about to read. This is on Fox News Politics. It says Kentucky clerk to license marriages as their boss is jailed. Basically, the defendant county clerk went to jail Thursday for refusing to issue marriage license to gay couples. But 5 of her deputies agreed that the company with the law ending a 2-month church-state standoff in Rowan County, Kentucky. U.S. District Judge David Bunnin said he had no choice but to jail Kim Davis for contempt after she insisted that her conscience will not allow her to follow the federal rules of gay marriage. So the bottom line is this woman was standing up for her rights. She was refusing to give gay couples their marriage license. She felt it offensive and appalling, which, you know what? I hate to say it, but I would have to almost agree with her. But both what I just said and she just said is our opinion, unfortunately, because our country is just falling apart. But anyway, this one guy, he's gay, and a friend of mine on my Facebook page, he found it offensive, I guess, that she wasn't giving these gay couples their marriage license. So he took the picture of her, the woman, it doesn't matter if she's attractive or not, but he just put on there that, well, this is why she can't, this woman can't find anybody to do her hair because she's refusing to give gay people their marriage license. And it was like, okay, yeah, no offense, that's not very funny. I mean, you're picking on this woman on her appearance and the way she looks, basically saying, in so many words or less, he didn't come out and say it, but you can tell what he was saying. Now, is this any better of making an offensive comment to this woman from that story I just read? Is that any more appropriate than picking on a person who has Down syndrome or who looks physically disabled? Well, you know what? In my opinion, no, that's just as offensive as picking on this lady. Picking on this lady is just as offensive as picking on somebody who's got a disfigurement, some type of physical problem. To me, I put those actually in exactly the same category. Now, I thought I put it on my Facebook page, but I think honestly I was probably so ashamed. I was so appalled by what he put that I just kind of overlooked the story. So, another one was, maybe I'll read this one. This is a little goofy too, in my opinion. But this was a friend sent it to me on thepatch.com. It says, PA mom, Pennsylvania mom, sues Amazon.com and the University of Penn over her daughter's suicide. So this woman's blaming her daughter for committing suicide because she got like something on Amazon that helped her commit suicide. And it was like, I forget what it is. I'll have to read this. The mother of the University of Pennsylvania student that killed herself with cyanide, the cyanide that she had bought from Amazon, is suing both the school and the retailer, according to multiple reports. So this young girl, she was 20 years old. She was Indian, and she died basically by trying to commit suicide, but she got the cyanide, which she used to kill herself with, off of Amazon. Well, I hate to tell you, there's no way you can stop people. She's of legal age. There's no way to stop stop people from buying anything online. So now she's going to blame a grown adult who committed suicide instead of giving her daughter the responsibility that her daughter committed suicide. The mother's taken action to sue now both Amazon, and it was somebody else too, because the family was from New Jersey, but they were Indian families. It has nothing to do with it, I know, but it says in her she was struggling with her classes of nursing and failing to show up for many of them, and she also arrested and hospitalized for alcohol intoxication. The news reports say this girl was going to Penn. And see, this is a problem too. A lot of these kids, no offense, are getting pushed through college. And if you're some type of minority, they just basically, I'm sorry, and they're doing it to everybody, I know. They're grade inflating the grades in high school just so these kids can, these teachers can get more money, being in unions. A lot of these teachers are basically unionized. And then these kids go to a real school, depending where it is, what university. Some of these professors are actually trying to teach you something. So they don't want to hear that your daughter's failing, and these kids, which are adults actually, don't know how to handle failure when it happens. I know how to handle it because when I was in school, I was always, in high school I was failing a lot. I was passing, but I when I was in college, I did fail some classes I had to take again. But did it make me want to go out and commit suicide? No, because I learned that you're not going to always pass everything. You're not going to win at everything. And you're not the center of the universe. But when you got these kids now who think that they're, I hate to use this phrase, but their shit doesn't stink, and they find out, wait a minute, I'm not this perfect, prissy person that everybody had told me that I am. They fall apart. They literally fall apart. So I hate to say it, this woman shouldn't win these lawsuits because it was like, it was basically, I did mention it. It was basically she's suing the University of Penn. Like, they should be held accountable for this girl committing suicide because they were failing her. Do you ever hear such bullshit? And Amazon should be because she bought cyanide off of Amazon. Well, I hate to say it, she's of legal age again. Do I need to say that even more? No. So that's that. Now, that story was ridiculous. Again, I'm going to shut this other one out. But this woman cop who couldn't get served at Arby's because she was a cop, that's more serious. But obviously that's going to be pushed under the rug because she's a cop. So that's just ridiculous. I don't know if I read this. This was one a friend sent me. This was around where I live. Driver arrested in Montgomery County for allegedly shooting heroin while driving. So you do see a problem with that, I hope, folks. Limerick Township, PA, Limerick Township Police make an arrest after they got a 911 call after a driver on 422 allegedly was shooting heroin while driving. The Limerick Township Police Chief William Albany says the motorist called 911 when he saw an erratic driver injecting himself while behind the wheel. So this person who was doing this, shooting up the heroin, this week alone, we had a heroin death of a 21-year-old, in addition to this guy who was shooting it up. And we had a save where one of our officers administered, there's some, I guess, something that counteracts the heroin to a 27-year-old. So they're really not taking they're not saying how old this other person was, I don't think. The one who was shooting up heroin today. Or was that today? It's almost going to be tomorrow. I had to double check. Yeah, this story was just sent to me, September 4th. So yeah, that happened this afternoon. I'm trying to see because it said something about marijuana as well. In that car, Chief Albany says that he found drug paraphernalia, heroin, and marijuana. The driver and the two passengers were taken into custody. Their names are not being released, and as full charges are pending additional tests. So this just happened today. So you know what? That's. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything. I better keep my big mouth shut because I don't know what I'm talking about. I mentioned this the other day. I think someone mentioned again. It was on iHorror. I think it was the first time. The Jaws potentially getting a reboot in the near future. Questioning it. Now, I read it like it actually is going to happen. No, it's not, but it could. Because apparently Spielberg, who owns DreamWorks, has a deal. They're basically have a deal with Disney. That contract's going to be up at the end of the year. So DreamWorks might go over to Universal. I always thought, though, when you go, like when I was out in Universal in California, I thought that Jaws ride was actually at Universal Studios. So I assumed already that Universal owned Jaws. But apparently, no, it's owned by Disney, unless I'm misreading this. But no, it says THR for iHorror. Says reports tonight. It says reports tonight that Steven Spielberg's company DreamWorks will be splitting from Disney when their current arrangement expires in August of next year. So yeah, see, there you go. It says that again. It says that actually Jaws was Universal to begin with, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Because when you ever watch those movies, I thought it said Universal. I don't know. But now they're saying it was Disney for a while. It's not going to be any longer. And if that happens, then there could be, they're speculating there could be potentials of these movies being remade, which would be kind of interesting. I mean, because I guess they're seeing after Spielberg's movie of Jurassic World, which was actually, I thought they said that one was done by Universal. It's like, I guess things are cut on the movies on who owns what on the movie deals. So, but they were saying after Jurassic World was made, and, you know, Spielberg was slightly involved in that, but that was apparently done by Universal, unless I'm, need to be stand corrected. And it made as much money as it did. It's like the top grossing movie now of all times. It's now, became the new one that they decided, like, hey, Spielberg wants to go back to Universal, and, where he can, have a little bit more freedom on his stuff. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, a follow-up on that, this was on iHorror too, and this is really exciting to me because I want to find out where this is at. It says, watch Friday the 13th in 4 dimensions this Halloween. So what it is, it's like one of these things like these film things, because they did this with Terminator years ago. I saw this out in Burbank, California. Burbank's Hollywood. We went to Universal, and then my parents and I, and then we went to Warner Brothers, but it was Universal actually, where they had this thing for it was like, I think that was considered 4D also for Terminator, and it really did look like things were crawling under your seat and coming out at you. My mom was screaming on the top of her lungs. She was so scared of, what I just mentioned, the Terminator thing. Now, can you imagine seeing that with, Camp Crystal Lake, a 4D thing, and it's going to be around here in Pennsylvania, and it says at Kenny Woods Park. So, I'm going to figure out where that is. In fact, I'm going to put that in probably now and see how far it is. I might ask my friend to go with me if I do it. But it's going to be a 4D thing where Jason Voorhees and, Camp Crystal Lake, it's going to be a 4D movie, literally. And if it's anything like I said with the other one that I saw back in the day out in California with the Terminator, I'll probably need to bring a diaper because I will really shit my pants. I'm not even kidding. It says this Halloween season packed with no shortage of must-attend horror events around the country, including screening of John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness inside the actual church where the movie was filmed. We keeping track of all the fun here and on High Horror, and we've got a really fun one for you today, and that's basically on the Friday the 13th thing. And it says Kenwood, Pennsylvania. So again, I got to figure out how far it is, because if it's too far, I'm actually half tempted to take some time off. Let's see, from where I live. Because I can say I live in Pennsylvania. Oh, yeah, it is far. It says from my location, it says 4 hours and 31 minutes. That's pretty far. So, because I live actually on the east part coast, or east part of Pennsylvania, Kenwood's all the way on like the other end of Pennsylvania. So, yeah, it's really far. But you know what? For something like this, I may actually have to consider doing it because, hey, it's Friday the 13th, and you get to see it like it's like Jason's actually going to basically put his axe or his machete in you, because that's what it actually says. Heightened by startling special effects, this 4D event delivers heart-stopping action. Guests will experience a sensory overload of fear as they come face-to-face with the machete-wielding killer. Seat vibrations, water sprays, and other alarming horrors are designed to let us feel like part of the grim action. So that is like fucking awesome in my opinion. I'm sorry. I am excited over that. You know what? I thought I had more stories on my list, so I actually ran through them all. So I'm going to kind of babble on for a little bit in case I missed anything. And, but I'm telling you, though, that last one with the Friday the 13th, that is really cool. I'll probably wait because I was going to give you a list. I was going to try to find a list of movies that possibly could be, what do you call it, that I'll be seeing tomorrow. But I don't know if it's going to take too long. I should probably actually put that up. So give me a moment for that one. It's actually called the Colonial Theater, if you can't hear me. The problem is I can't spell, so that makes it even harder. I might take a little breather anyway, because I got to check on my laundry. So, folks, give me one moment. I'm going to do one of these little pause things for a second, because I've been talking for quite a while, and I need to take a rest for a minute. So I'm going to give you the list of movies in a moment. Hold on for once. You won't even hear the stop, so I'm just letting you know now.
You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
All right. Hey, it's Walter. I am back again. Apologize about that, folks. I actually had some laundry I'm doing right now and I actually did not queue up my show yet. But yeah, it's tomorrow, and it starts at 7. I actually got to be there at 6. I got a VIP ticket for this thing. It's called the Italian All Night Splatterfest 4, and this place called Shorty's Sunflower Cafe and Truck Stop is going to be actually catering the event. That was like an extra $25. It was $50 for my ticket. For my VIP ticket, and it was $25. You just get the regular ticket. And I figured, you know what? You're in there for 9.5 hours watching these old movies, and trust me, you're going to spend more than that if you try to just buy stuff at the concession stand. So it's cheaper just to get this, and it's not like elaborate food. It's just hot dogs and meatballs, but it's still, at least you're getting something, and it's cheaper in the long. It's going to be in this 9 hours. It's going to be until Sunday afternoon, I'll be probably, or Sunday morning at least. So it says this year's fest will include 5 favorites plus trailers, prizes, event teas, and posters, and extra special added bonus of delicious food that can be purchased throughout the night from our amazing sponsors, Shorty's Sunflower Cafe and Truck Stop. This year, the lineup of showcases the bonker zombie flick Hell of the Living Dead. The conclusion is this movie called Gates of Hell Trilogy, The House by the Cemetery, the rarely screened Demons 2, which honestly, you have to watch Demons 1 in order to get Demons 2. I kind of like Demons 1 better. That's just my opinion. I saw both these classic movies, and a double dose of Black Sunday and highly influential The Bay of Blood. Now, I did not mention these producers' names because I would really screw them up. So again, it's black. It says them in an order, I guess. And Black Sunday, Demons 2, A Bay of Blood, Hell of the Living Dead, and The House by the Cemetery. And these are all classic horror films. They're all Italian producers. And, it's 9.5 hours. There's more. That's why it's 9.5 hours, because there's things going between the movies. And it's only like $25. So it's like, hey, if you like, like the old B horror movies, this is a way to get to see them and you have fun with other people. Since the VIP has a pre-show, it starts at 6. It's from 6 to 7 in the movie theater because they have different floors. They're going to have it on the upper floor. So this pre-show buffet dinner is from 6 to 7. It's a buffet. Sunflower Splatterfest Lounge. And it says Italian meatballs, hot dogs with mustard and onions, Italian rice salad with tomatoes, capers, cucumbers, and basil, and basically pasta salad with roasted garlic, lemon, and parsley. They also have antipasta, and chips and salsa, coffee, and a coffee bar. So they probably don't have soda, but that's fine with me. Maybe I'll try to pick up some iced tea before I get there, knowing that's going to be the case. And then they have, this is why it's the intermission thing. I mean, intermission. The VIP thing is nice because it has an intermission snack pack in Sunflower Splatterfest Lounge. And they have, things in. They give you snacks. Now, they said you can, they have an a la carte $5 in the lobby for non-VIP holders. And then there's an intermission snack for the second half of this horror fest, which is mini turkey sandwiches, truffle potato chips, homemade peanut butter crackers, cookies, also available a la carte for $6. So you know what? You're not maybe spending as much, but also going to be spending more at the concession stand than you would if you just bought initially this, VIP ticket, which makes more sense to me. So, that's at the Phoenixville movie theater. It's the same movie theater that you actually will see in the original Blob. When the people running out of the movie theater, it's the same exact one. So it's still around, and they basically let you know that, but they do some really cool stuff at that one. So, hey, it was pretty funny. Somebody actually put up a picture of the train station I shot for my video short I did called The Train Station about a year ago now. And it was on this website site called, or link on Facebook called Abandoned Steve Urban Explorations. And they have a photo of the very same train station that I actually shot at. So, I don't know if it's considered a historical site. I know I had some problems shooting there because they don't like people around that train station because it is dangerous somewhat because trains still basically would it go up and down those tracks. So, yeah, you can get probably hurt if you don't watch yourself. So, it actually had asbestos in there, too. It said, it says old 1800s abandoned railroad station. So this train station that I had shot at was built in the 1800s. It says it was used to serve a small town in the area. The train station used to be a part of the Reading Railroad and then later part of SEPTA's passenger line. In the 1950s, the major highways was built going right through the town to make way for this highway. A lot of the town structure was demolished in the 1960s, and by the 1970s, the national park took over the land. The station remained in the park after it had taken over. The station remained in service for SEPTA until 1983. That's when the last time it was used. So it was used all the way up to 1983. This train station that was around since basically the 1800s. So that's pretty cool. And I did use it for my corny little video I did years ago. I did it last year. What am I saying? So, yeah, I have some other things. Again, I always post some entertaining stuff on my Facebook page. One was this thing where it says a liberal condemnum, and it says if a Muslim barber refuses on religious grounds to cut the hair of a lesbian, whose side does the liberal take? That is really good. So, yeah, I didn't understand that at first. So, yeah, if a Muslim barber refuses to cut a lesbian's hair, which side does the left take? That is actually really classic because the left supports both sides. Somebody actually posted, I stole this and put on my Facebook. It was, who remembers when bubble gum came with comics and they're showing the bazooka gum? I do remember that. I guess that's no longer considered something that you would see. Somebody actually put up a cartoon. I don't know how they did it, but it looks really good. It's funny. And it's with Elmer Fudd. It says, take this take this piss funny pic and video photo. And it's supposed to be a picture of some girl taking a selfie of herself. And it's a cartoon in the one frame, and it's got Elmer Fudd looking, and in the second frame, Elmer Fudd shoots her face off. Because everybody's so self-absorbed anymore about taking pictures of themselves that I guess it's just like it's annoying anymore, if anything else. I actually did post about Snowden, and it's from Breitbart. I think it's something that Rush would actually use too. Edward Snowden completely basically states completely ridiculous to think that Hillary Clinton's email service was secure. That's what this guy Edward Snowden saying. Former national security agent contractor Edward Snowden held forth on Hillary Clinton's email scandal during an interview with Desiree on Thursday. Snowden, who knows a thing or two about compromising national security, was not impressed with Clinton's excuses. This is a problem because anyone who has the clearances that the security of the state has, or the director of any top-level agency knows how classified information should be handled, he asserted. He pointed out that there would be consequences for anyone else who did what Clinton has done. So, he's not buying it, basically, this guy, Edward Snowden, that Hillary said that, how these could be breached. I mean, it should be, I guess, basically impossible. It's just like a quote. It says, if any ordinary worker at the State of Department of Central Intelligence Agency or anything like that were sending details about the security of embassies, which is alleged to be in her email, meetings with private government officials, foreign government officials, and the statements that were made to them in confidence over classified email systems, they would not only lose their jobs if this got released or lose their clearance, they would have very likely face prosecution for it. So obviously, she's basically treading more. I mean, she is, she's getting away with something that she should not. Because wasn't Snowden the one who actually, I'm going to have to look this up now. I thought he was the one who actually did get in trouble for being a whistleblower. I don't remember, but the name does ring a bell, so I'm going to have to look him up. And it says Edward Snowden is an American computer professional, former CIA employee and former government contractor who leaked classified information from the U.S. National Security Agency in 2013. So, he was the one. And now, he got prosecuted for this, apparently, or he did. And that was a big deal. With Snowden, that you did not hear the end of that. Now, what's going on with Hillary, it's just being swept under the rug because she's trying to run for president. Now, if she gets it with all the stuff she's done, even if she gets presidential elect, that is really, really scary. I'm sorry, that's just ridiculous, to say the least, that a woman who has lied as much as she has and her husband has gotten away with such scandals as saying that her personal email has been breached with, basically government information, secret information and stuff, and she's still walking, still holds her freedom. And this guy Snowden got he got a lot of trouble for what he had done, but she's not. That really does prove the double standard does exist, for one thing. And I mean, that woman should spend, basically not be praised or running for president. She should be actually put in jail or paying some hefty fines, to say the least. So, There was a story I found. It was on Dream and Demon. Carlos Hollins jailed after tweeting, "Kill all the white PPL in the town of Plata. Plata? More social media stupidity in the news after 20-year-old Carlos Hollins took to Twitter to state, quote, "I'm not going to stand for this, no. More tonight, we purge, kill all the white PPL in the town of LA Plata," unquote. So this guy, he's a black guy, it looks like, but he was basically saying we should kill all the white police, I guess. And what is going on with there is a lot of folks calling in and said LA Plata Police Chief Carl Shiner. There was a lot of concern. Our Facebook page, lots of information from people saying that they're scared. Can you tell us more? So this guy's saying we need to kill all the white people and all the white police. And, I hate to say this. It's going to be another one of these things that's just going to be swept. Honestly, it's going to be swept under the rug. It's not going to go anywhere. Are you serious if you think they're going to actually take this whole situation serious? I don't think so. Hey, here's another one. I'm going to cut this. It's actually going to go on. It's going to go on to Saturday morning. I'm going to stop before that happens. On Dream and Demon, a boy 11 shot alleged 16-year-old home intruder after being left home alone. And they show that picture of Macaulay Culkin from the movie Home Alone. And this was in, actually, I don't know if that's, it looks like St. Louis, Missouri, but police say 11-year-old boy shot and killed a 16-year-old intruder. Well, if this kid is coming in your house and he's like uninvited, and you're home alone, a little kid, especially 11, the kid did the right thing. According to Sergeant Brian Schulman, the teen and accomplice tried to get inside the home where a young boy had been left alone with his 4-year-old sister. So he's actually protecting not only himself, his little kid's sister. However, the third time they tried entering the home would be their last. As the unnamed teen entered an unlocked front door, the 11-year-old used a firearm to shoot the teen once in the head. So the kid should call the kid Bullseye, killing him. When the police arrived, they found the teen lying inside the front foyer. His accomplice ran off after hearing the shot, but were later picked up by the police. One neighbor said she doesn't believe the full truth is being told. She said the two boys were arguing on the front porch of the home when the 11-year-old took out the shotgun and fired. So see, now they're trying to make it out that this kid just randomly shot these kids arguing at the front porch. Well, I don't know about that. He was always just sitting right there on the porch, she said. He never did once go inside the house. So there's more to the story than they're leading on, because now they're trying to make the deceased to be a victim. No word on why the boy had been left alone in the home to take care of his younger sister, but the police say he shot the gun he used belonged to his mother, and she had purchased it because of prior break-in attempts. Well, see that? If they've had prior break-in attempts, now the freaking kid who was standing, just so happened, two teenagers were just so happened to be on the front of the porch of somebody they knew that they thought weren't home, but here there was a little boy and his sister. They were planning to break in the house. If they had prior break-ins, what do you think? I mean, how stupid do people have to be not to see the truth happening? So obviously they got to be really dumb. Hell, I'll leave it go at this because I didn't know this was what this was about. There's some artwork for Leatherface, and here this is going to be a prequel movie. It was on bloodydisgusting.com, and I'm promising this is going to be my last story. Reflect on the art for the Leatherface, the prequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This was up today. I can say that for the next 15 minutes. Bloody Disgusting has landed a first look at the foreign art of the Leatherface prequel to Tobe Hooper's 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which filmed earlier this year in Bulgaria. The poster reflects the birth of Leatherface, the chainsaw wielding maniac from the franchise that's one of three actors. The film centers around the violent teen who one day will become Leatherface. He escapes from a mental hospital with three other inmates, Sam Collin, Sam Strike, James Bloor, and Jessica Manson, kidnaps a young nurse played by Vanessa Grassi to take her on a road trip from hell. Along the way, they are pursued by an equally deranged lawn man, Stephen Dorff, out for revenge. Yeah, so that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, there's a little bit more, but I'm not going to read it. So it says, I never watched the 3D version. My one friend, Matt, he did go see, he had nothing else better to do, I think, and he said, yeah, I'm just going to, hey, do you want to go, Walt, do you want to go see Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, and I was like, no, I'll kind of pass on that. But he did go see it. It was like mildly entertaining, I think he said. I can't remember. Yeah, it says the new one's going to be produced by Christina Campbell and Lita Grumman, and alongside Carl Mascone, after they successfully resurrected the franchise with the 2013 Texas Chainsaw 3D. So apparently, I guess that must have did not too bad. Les Weldon is also the producer of the project, which is being exclusively produced by Millennium's Abe Lerner, Trevor Short, Boraz Davison, and John Thompson, Mark Gill, and Beth Buckner's O'Brien. See, I was just wondering if they would give a release date. I assume it's coming out soon because they already got the teaser poster that you can see on Bloody Disgusting. Anyway, I did promise I'm going to make this the end of my show because I got very long-winded because I didn't do anything last night, and I slept till 4:30. I can't do that tomorrow because I got to get up at a decent time. So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my show for this weekend. I know I did call it Farce Friday. Yes, I actually wanted to say that. That was a Freudian slip, but the right one. Farce Friday. No, it was Force Friday. I did want to call it, seriously, I wanted to call it Farce Friday because I think the whole thing with Star Wars is just a farce. I like the movies, but that's just too much. And by the way, that was another thing I wanted to mention. Samsung has just officially announced they're going to make the first 4K Blu-ray player. I know I said I was going to end the show, but you know what? So what? Just stand in for a little longer. Yeah, they're making they officially announced the first 4K Blu-ray player. Now, you got these 4K TV sets, which are actually gotten really cheap. I can buy a 4K TV set for like a 40-inch, 45-inch, or 50-inch for like under $1,000 now. They used to be really expensive. So now they're going to have 4K Blu-ray players, and that's going to be really cool. They said the movie studios are already catching on. They're going to make 4K Blu-rays, and it's going to be like, the price is not going to be that expensive because they're going to get really cheap. Now, here's the catch, though. Older movies like Star Wars, even though they were digitally enhanced, like Star Wars 4, 5, and 6, well, I just watched the enhanced versions, at least of 5 and 6. 4, I really did not want to. And it looks so fucking bad, though. You can actually see where they basically drew in the backgrounds. I mean, you can actually see that. It looks like The Wizard of Oz, where they used to use these things called plate screens or something. Like they did that in Star Wars, especially to make it look like it had a depth on the Death Star. They had these glass painted, scenes. They were like literally painted on glass, and you like shoot them in certain light. It looked phenomenal. Well, guess what it looks like on high definition now on Blu-ray? It looks like basically painted backgrounds. Like you're like basically standing behind a painted background. I didn't even realize that from years ago, but I was watching Return of the Jedi, and the backgrounds, you could tell they were painted. And it's like, this looks really bad. What's 4K going to do to these old movies? I mean, now I guess I got to call them old. But yeah, they're going to look horrible. Because the 4K, I mean, already high definitions destroy these movies because it makes them look really bad. So 4K is going to even just ruin it more. It's going to look like I'm watching a silent film in Keller. Because those actually did have painted backgrounds. Like if you ever watch any of these silent films, I can't think of any on top of my head. Anyway, yeah, I said I was going to end it. I am now. So everyone, I'm not going to be on for the next 2 days because I'm going to be at a Splatterfest with my friend Matt. So everyone, enjoy your weekend, your Labor Day weekend. Have a good one. I am signing off.